G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. This is an American-made weapon, first developed around the year 2000 and produced from 2001 onwards. It's a pistol caliber semi-automatic carbine, so we can't make this thing automatic, which is a little bit unfortunate, and I don't think you can throw a scope on this thing, so we won't be able to flog sniper knockdowns with this, which is such a shame, but we'll go on. So this thing's got custom animations as well for the reload. You'll see the magazine sitting just inside the grip there, and the charging handle is sort of tucked out of the way back there, won't get snagged on anything in any close quarter situation. And I think what this thing is for is just for home defense. Yeah, it's not going to be enough to kill a boy. You won't be able to go hunting with it. It's not really a varmint rifle, so keeping your home safe from all of the riffraff that's out there that want to steal your TV or your SS Commodore or something. You can't let them do that. So what do? You shoot them multiple times and say, get off my lawn. So we'll get into the attachments here, and like I said before, the only thing we can get out of this thing is semi-auto, so we'll go up to the advanced receiver, giving us 108 damage, which is not too bad, but it gets a little bit more interesting for the barrel. So right now we've got a standard barrel here. Honestly, it looks kind of Star Wars-esque right now. A little bit of E11 in there, but maybe that's just because I'm thinking a bit of a Star Wars mood. But we've got a suppressed barrel here that'll increase our damage thanks to your ace operator. It'll also increase our range. It's actually got the same amount of range as a long barrel, so I guess there's no real reason not to use the suppressed version, so long as you've got gun nut rank 2, which is nice. 135 damage is not too bad after all. And right now I've got a standard stock. You can have a marksman's version of that, which gives you better aim with scopes despite not having an option for a scope. But a survivalist stock gives you a few magazines in the back here, stuck in like a Recon CS6. Shout out to anyone who ever owned that Nerf gun. They were cool. They were fun. Also changes the design of the charging handle there. Makes it look like it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. So next up, we've got magazines. You can have a standard one, a quick eject version of that, large one, or a quick eject version of the large magazine. Better ammo capacity seems like a good idea. Gun nut rank 3 is required for that. Next up, we've got the sights. We've got standards. You can have improved sights, which adds a little something to the rear aperture of that. Just something that looks like it'll constrict your aim more. There's also a reflex sight, which you'll mount a tiny little blaster on the Picatinny rail on that suppressor. So you better hope that thread or whatever that is steady, because if you knock this thing around too much, that might knock the calibration of your reflex sight out. And there's no muzzle attachment here, unfortunately. You can't throw a muzzle brake on a suppressed barrel here. And even if we did have the long barrel on, we don't actually get the option of any muzzles. Anyway, so there you have it. That is our Kel-Tec, one of them. We'll make probably one more because it'll need a loud and proud version, but we'll get into it. Legendary effect is also there if you need it. Bloodied sounds good. Explosive, I think, would be pretty gnarly. You could probably get away with rapid. Relentless is nice too. Staggering would be pretty nice. Two-shot would be very powerful indeed, but no legendary effects. Let's just shoot things. In order to obtain this weapon, you must use console commands. It's not craftable, it's not on the level list, it's nothing. So you're gonna have to just pull it out of the ether. The way you do that is you first open your console commands, and if you're playing on survival at home, you might have to do some finagling to get the console command to show up, but the button is the little squiggly line above tab. Anyway, so first of all, we want to find the weapon's form, and the way you do that is you type in help, and then you type in any sort of keyword or name of the weapon. Anything like 2000 with this thing would work because it's a sub 2000. It's pretty unique. Not many weapons have 2000 in the name, so we can narrow it down pretty easily. Then you want to type in 4. That means it's going to be searching for form lists that are in-game items. And then you want to narrow that down even further by saying you want weapons. And the way you'll do that is you type in wep. Hit enter, it'll give you a couple of things. Actually, there's an F2000, I forgot about that. Just ignore that one. Next thing you want to do is player, period, full stop, add, item. That's all in one word. And then that little code in the brackets, that's what you want to enter. So it's FE000 F99. Very easy. If you do a lot of weapon modding, usually the F99 is the first form they make. So that's all very convenient. And what you'll do then is you'll type in either enter, or if you want to specify the amount of things. Say if you wanted 50,000, you just put a space after that code, you type 50,000, and then you'll add 50,000 of these into your inventory, and then the game will crash. Anyways, so a few seconds later, I've waited for the game to load in. I've got myself 50,000 of these, and I'm currently over capacity by a couple of pounds. And we've seemed to have picked up 355,000 10mm bullets, which is a lot more than I should be carrying. Alrighty, I'm gonna go one better here. I'm gonna drop all of these instead of scrapping them one by one at a workbench. Haha, just kidding. They'll drop in a stack, and that's all of them. Right there. Let's scrap them. Yep, do it. And that's fine. That's how we get all of that out of the game. Alrighty, outside of the immersive Gunners Plaza now, and this is our sub 2000 in first person. You aim down sights, and that's what the recoil animation looks like. Note the little dot on the reflex sight sort of bounces around a little bit as well. So it's not just like a static thing on the sight, that's like a proper actual dot there, and that's something that you don't see all the time with mods, so thought I'd just point that out. Here's the one that I made with the standard barrel with no suppressor. It's got the enhanced iron sights, and yeah, they are cutting off your vision a little bit being up so close to your eyeball, but I don't think that's too bad at all. And once you fire, I mean, that thing sort of clears off the center of the screen anyway, so you might be able to just recenter your aim on something when it's doing that. So I feel like that's alright. Take a quick look at these things in third person. Not terrible looking at all. I think the textures are nice and the model looks pretty spot on to what the sub 2000 would look like from what limited images I've seen on the internet. So let's begin, shall we? And we're going to go on this cheap sniping spot because that's just what we do. We're actually getting half decent accuracy from here, and this Mantis, nah, he's got to go down. Nah, I'm already sick of ya. There we go. Not too bad accuracy from there. We're going to have a little bit of trouble carrying the damage, but should we get our 4x multipliers, we can get okay. I think that got a headshot from back there, but the accuracy on this thing in VATS isn't all that bad, and in typical pistol sort of fashion, it's half decent in its efficiency, which I think is pretty nice, as Idiot Savant procs there. The game's trying to tell me I'm an idiot, but we're not going to listen to it. This is working, damn it. Now, we're going to have a little bit of problems targeting from back here, and we're out of crits now, so those guaranteed hits that do a little bit more damage, probably not going to work out so well for us. But being a semi-automatic weapon with recoil that is not too bad, I think the biggest problem that I'm facing with this thing is it's just sort of cutting the camera off as I'm trying to shoot, so I could obviously just go in third person, hammer on the trigger, and not having to worry about the weapon model being directly in the way. I think someone's very close. Closer? Yeah, right there. Vats couldn't see him. But it might be all over for the sneak criticals, but all these headshots, they're doing a pretty good job. Actually, we're still in caution here. Might be able to get a couple of cheeky little ones. There we go. If I can get just like a few, like half dozen, I don't think it's too bad. Although you could argue that since it's a pistol caliber, it's a little bit quieter than the big rifle calibers. But again, how do you not see that? We're wearing bright clothes, damn it, bright orange. Although, yeah, that's a big IQ play right there. Blended right in. Anyways, let's get more close and personal now. We've had a couple of Idiot Savant procs, which is going to be okay if we want some of our health back, but we might see some damage deficiencies now that we aren't getting sneak criticals constantly. But like I said before, just using this thing in third person, zeroing on that aim, trying to get those headshots, going for the big damage risky sort of plays, I think that's a good idea. We've also got sort of a pistol whip animation for that's just the standard pistol bashing animation, but I think it works here. It's got the same sort of grip set up there. So we'll go for some criticals against this person. Yes, take that. And a cheeky little level up there puts us well on our way to a nice little heal up. But let's break this up a little bit and shoot this guy a little bit in the face. Nice cartwheel, bro. And we'll take another route here. We'll just use the semi-automatic. Well, actually, they're both semi-auto, but the one without the suppressor, getting 45 damage for those chest shots, which, you know, it's not very flattering, but we are coughing up half of our damage thanks to the very hard difficulty. But This weapon was never really designed to be utilized in a endgame fashion like it is now. It says explicitly on the mod page that it's a sort of early to mid-game weapon. We are missing with criticals. That's something you don't see every day. I think we're getting cock-blocked by that fence, which you'd think bullets would be able to fly through, but what have you. We'll finish with a critical, and we'll go straight on to this particular gunner. The battle of the great semi-autos, and I'm getting a lot more hits in than she is. Little miss. She's married, but I'm going to call her miss because that's all she did. Alright, let's go. It's doing pretty well. I'd say it's punching above its weight for what it is, but I'm thinking it's just... I'm able to get this thing on target fairly easily because, well, if I'm not being blocked by its somewhat obnoxious sights. I mean, sure, they're realistic, but they're not as easy to aim through as other things. I think it's doing an admirable job regardless, and if we want to just flog that a little bit just to guarantee this damage, and are we shooting through a tree there? Ooh, not even the M16s in Vietnam could do that. Maybe we're onto something here. We're using super advanced 10mm ammo. Upchambering it from 9mm, 10mm has caused a big effect. Also, you'll notice that the sound on this thing is the standard 10mm sound for the suppressed. So it's just a loud and proud version that gives you a different sound to listen to whilst you're shooting it. What is that? What have you got? Put that down. That is a... it's a bison. Yeah, that makes sense. That actually messed me up pretty good. We might want to time our nerd rage at a moment where we aren't... Okay, that was a bad time to push that. We just got grenaded. Luckily, we've got that adrenaline burst coming in here, giving us a nice amount of damage, perhaps healing post this. And wow, that's a lot of Molotov. Someone just spammed them all into a wall, I suppose. And... oop, there's another one. She didn't actually ignite that one. She dropped that right on the ground. You don't see that every day. That was neat. Anyways, so we should be pretty much nearing our next level up here, although things are getting a little bit dire. I don't think we'll actually see our next level up for the duration of this fight, but I think at this point we've cleared them out to an extent where it's not as bad, and you just shot up those stairs real fast. Our effects from Nerd Rage seem to be still present, which is nice. And we've got one gunner who's just slipped under. We'll just shoot them from the roof here. Getting out extra little bit of power by putting the bullets into terminal velocity as gravity pulls them down into that gunner's skull. And now we can finally breach this room. The idiot savant proc actually might help me here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use VATS and just stand my ground. Could do it. That fire damage over time might actually cost me here. Oh, so close. Fell at the last hurdle, that last gunner. You know what? That's good enough. I'm happy with that. Alright, let's bring this home by destroying the swan with legendary variants of this thing. Yeah, take all of that 80 extra extraneous damage. We'll take out that little ghoul too. And get an idiot savant proc for our troubles. And we're going to crit this guy as many times as we can. And we've got a special trick up our sleeve once we get to actually being detected. We've got another critical there. We're just going to keep backing off, but we might actually do this without having to bring out the special weapon that I've got prepared for him, because he's not moving up. He might get aggroed by some other of the ne'er-do-wells. Okay, now we're on. Is it? It's, that's a Nightkin Suicider. That's terrible, and also, that was a flashbang, which didn't seem to affect me that much, but if it did, I would have been in a lot of trouble. That guy's going to keep throwing flashbangs too. Ow. That's not good. I got stomped on there. Anyways, enter the special version. Look at that furious damage stacking up. There we go. Okay. Here what comes, mate. What is it? Health bar. Being depleted. That's what's coming. And we've got one more dude left. A Nightkin. What are you... A bullet sponge Nightkin? No, dead. Okay. I was expecting a Super Mutant Warlord tier Nightkin there, which would have taken about 15 minutes to kill. But, look, I think you get the idea. So this here was a sub 2000 Kel-Tec. It's a pretty cool gun. Obviously punching way above its weight here. And it did admirably, considering a little bit of extra legendary effects to push it over the line. But if you're interested in seeing this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. This thing is only on PC, and the only way you can get it is with the console commands. But perhaps with some feedback, and maybe if they're out there watching this video, they might want to be porting it over to Xbox, because it's a pretty lightweight mod, all things considered. And for how small it is, it's definitely a good looking gun, and it might be something you'd consider getting, because, I don't know, it's small. It's potentially lore-friendly, like the year 2000 possibly happened in Fallout universe, so you never know. You could probably make an argument that it's not, but, you know, maybe you got this thing in real life and you want to see some extra gun representation in your Fallout 4 game. Who knows? There's some interesting applications for it, and you can also wear it as well thanks to classic holstered weapons, so that's all good too. But yeah, if you're interested, link in the description. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.